Hoy yo estoy de fiesta. Wow, oh, oh, oh. Esta noche yo ya no te vuelvo a buscar. No sé lo que vi en tu corazón, pero te aseguro que eso fue un error. No te quiero en mi vida más. Te lo juro, no voy a.
Hi guys, thank you for another episode of Talk the Talk. We're here with author David Norec. He's the author of The Adventures of EXO and Sai. There you go. Today we have Stephanie Megan, and we have David with us. So David, tell us a little bit about the book. How did you come up with this idea for it?
Living in the RGB, unfortunately, one of the things that is prevalent here is like diabetes and obesity. And my family, it just has run rampant in our family. And in 2013, my older brother passed away from, difficulty with diabetes. I saw him go from a collegiate athlete, soccer player, to having been confined to a wheelchair because of amputations, and so on and so forth. But still, he was relatively young, and when he passed away, it was still kind of a shock to our family. And so the very next year, my older sister, also passed away from diabetes. And she was a teacher, and she died from a massive heart attack at a UIL school event. And so after she passed away, I was just driving home. And came to a stoplight, and I was a teacher at the time. Wonderful school, wonderful kids, wonderful principal. And I just stopped, and I just kind of a simple prayer. God, what do you if you want me to do something different with my life, put it in my heart right now. And I promise you, almost immediately, the idea, children's book, okay? EXO and Sai, which is a play on the word exercise, okay? The city where they live in is called OB City, for obesity. I'm like, okay, yeah, no, it gets better. The mayor of OB City, her name would be Diane Beatty, so I'm like, okay.
These things were just coming.
They were just coming, and on top of it, within like a minute, all this.
Flooding in.
Yeah, it was just flooding in, and then on top of that, kind of like a coup de grace on all this was have the book be a play on the word exercise, and where the kids actually have to exercise by reading the book.
Yeah, I was reading through it, and I see that you have here on the bottom where they have to actually play along.
Yeah, they become a part of the book, and there's different, I call it exercises that they have to do.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that. That's
Nice.
perfect.
Yeah.
I see your exercise. It just comes out perfectly. EXO inside, exercise. That's awesome.
And so I wrote all these things down, and then I started calling people and just asking, so what do you think about this? Because this is kind of weird,
Yeah.
And almost everyone was telling me, wow, where did you get that idea? That's like blowing our minds right now. And that's how it started. And it took this was back in 2015. My sister passed away in 2014. And so it's taken a couple years. It took me about, I'd say, half a year to actually write it. And then I wanted to find a local illustrator because it's very important to me, for number one, for it to be local. And then secondly, so that I can meet up kind of like us right here and bounce back ideas. And so it took him about a year and a half to actually finish the illustrations, which are amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they look amazing.
And Edgardo Gonzalez?
Yes, Edgardo Gonzalez.
And is this the only book he's ever illustrated for? Or
He's a graphic designer and an artist, but he had never done a children's book.
Oh,
So
wow.
we both kind of learned as we went along, and he would send me sketches, and I would give him the thumbs up or thumbs down, and now he just blew it out
This
of
was
the park.
well done, definitely.
Yeah.
I just wanna-
Thank you. Yeah.
Was it always meant to be a children's book, or you had that kind of came later? It was always that.
No, it was always meant to be a children's book. Once the idea came, it was always meant to be a children's book. Yeah.
Nice. Yes. Where can we get a copy?
Right now, through me directly.
Oh.
I also, I love everything local, and so I have a few a few friends who are putting it in their shop, like the RGB Spytech on 23rd and Olana. I know it's kind of a weird place to have a book, but
No, not at all,
but-
because you have traffic coming to different
yeah,
locations.
and you know what? And it's just helping each other out.
That's
And
important.
I'm in the process right now of getting it in Barnes and Noble. That's taken me a little bit longer than I thought, but and it's more difficult. I'm self-publishing. You know, if you go through a traditional publisher or through what they call like a vanity press, vanity publisher, they can get you in, but they start taking control of, you know, the book and stuff. And I didn't want that because on top of that, I want to be able to give back to my community. I know I'm being supported by the South Texas Juvenile Diabetes Association and the Rio Grande Valley Diabetes Association, as well as the South Texas Literacy Coalition. And so I've made a commitment to give them back proceeds from selling the book and also from me going and presenting at schools and libraries and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, but especially here in the valley, I mean, you have a lot of kids that are with obesity right now.
Exactly.
I mean, I think we're the #1 ranked on the valley.
We are the fattest city in the United States of America.
A lot
McAllen,
of the
Texas.
a lot of the fast foods, it's just easier to go pick up fast
Yeah.
food
It
than
is.
actually make a meal.
It is actually cheaper, I mean, because you can get a $1 burger
How
and
is
then
that?
go.
Or 10 nuggets for $1.50. Yeah,
It's
it's
so
very
hard,
simple.
it really is.
And-
And fall into a habit like that, especially at that young age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Parents are
And then
just
especially
shutting-
hearing your brother, he was an athlete in school. I mean, that's what happens, I think, with every athlete here in the valley. They start working out and they start exercising. They do all this when they're in high school.
Yeah.
As soon as they get out, well,
yeah,
I
it's-
mean,
and you know, and it's gonna take a while to change the culture of the city of McAllen and the Rio Grande Valley. But you know, it took a long time for us to get here. Now we need to take the right steps and be proactive in getting us out of where we're at now. And really, I know McAllen, that's a city that, you know, is being, I guess, targeted, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really just a small picture of the entire valley. You know, and that's really where
So
I
it's
think
good
the
to kind of
problem
meet in the
is.
middle.
Yes.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask, where does this story take place? It
The-
looks, I don't know, I thought China was crazy.
Yeah, the story takes place in the town called
Oh, that's
City.
right, sorry.
And when I was talking to my illustrator, I wanted the city to be filled with fast foods. This is going to be the
Yeah.
first book in a series of, I'm looking at 7 books. And in the final book, it's going to be the final battle to overtake obesity. And it's going to be a bunch of fast food restaurants. Exo and Psy, of course, diabetes being the main villain. Officer or Chief Will Ness, he's the chief of police, which stands for wellness. He's going to be the one who's going to take over at the very end. And I have a daughter, and so I don't want to leave girls behind. This one, Exo and Psy, is a story about a young boy and his dog. But the next book in the series is going to be called The Adventures of Arrow, which would be a little girl, modeled after my daughter, and her cat, Bix. So it'll be The Adventures of Aerobics. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, still taking place
Yeah.
in OB City. And in the final book, Exo and Psy and Arrow and Bix are going to finally meet, come together, and finally defeat diabetes and turn that city
I
around.
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because for people to obtain this is through you, how can anyone that's viewing this get in contact with you, reach you?
Yeah, my website is still under development, but it's going to be up and going very soon. That's www.davidnorec.com, or they can email me at exoandsci@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yes.
wow, that's pretty good. As an author, what atmosphere do you get yourself into to write this kind of books?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, what type of music do you listen to? I know because when I write scripts for movies, I like to pick a song and put it on replay and just keep writing on it.
that's like the Quentin Tarantino style. Writing
So
movies based off the songs.
how do you get your mindset?
For me, it's getting away, getting alone, and I can't write with music. I love music and I use it for a lot of other things, but I need peace, I need quiet, and I need to just zone in and write.
So you isolate yourself.
Yes, as much as I can. And on top of that, when I go do school visits, I always ask the kids, because a lot of the characters are play on words, and I asked, do you guys have any suggestions? Because kids are creative.
Yeah.
And I visited Ramirez Elementary in Edinburgh, and I asked that question. I posed it out to the kids, and a young man said, well, what about a character, her name being Marcia Mello? I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Yes. So stuff like that, I'm always open to suggestions, because I believe, people can lead me to these right places, and yes, so I do isolate myself, but I also open myself up to suggestions, so where I can get, ideas to put them in the books.
Any particular children's books, maybe from your childhood, that you kind of modeled after, or maybe you did your research on what the demographic of kids are? Because I imagine, I wouldn't know how to write for kids.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
I wouldn't say children's book. Me, I was more of a middle school teacher, and so talk about books like The Outsiders. Kids love reading that book.
Yeah.
But no, when I was looking around, there wasn't and there isn't a book like this. Where it's interactive. We would have authors come visit our schools, but most of the time the author was sitting down, the kids were sitting down, and it would read, show the page, ask questions. When I go present, I'm standing up, the kids are standing up, we're doing all the exercises, we're having fun, we're learning different things. And, studies show that when kids get some kind of exercise, workout, or any kind of physical activity before a test, they score higher. So this book hits on a lot of different levels, and this is unique, I guess.
You have a motivational speaker type of thing going on in the book.
I hope so. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's amazing. That's super great. Is this your first book?
It is my first book.
That's amazing. Honestly, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's super great work.
And you distribute mostly at schools?
Yeah, schools, libraries, and anywhere. I'm open to go and present anywhere I can to spread the word.
Definitely, everyone reach out.
Please do.
For our audience, do you have anything to tell them as far as upcoming authors that are willing to write a book, and what kind of ideas or? Yeah,
for sure. If an idea is put in your heart, don't let anybody stop you from just reaching the finish line with that idea, because there are going to be a lot of naysayers. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to come in and say, what, you're thinking too big, you're dreaming too big. No, what? Is it difficult? Absolutely. But is it worth it? Absolutely it is. And so whatever it is that is put in your heart, just go after it. And then don't give up, and just stay around positive people, and then you're going to accomplish what you set your mind to.
That's amazing. No, I just want to say that this is absolutely amazing. You have 3 hosts here because this is just an awesome book, and we were excited to meet with you today.
Well, thank you so much.
For
thank
being
you.
in. This was an awesome book to put out there for the audience.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for viewing in today, Talk the Talk, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hoy yo estoy de fiesta.